Hello and welcome to Decode Your English, the channel where we learn not just better English, but also better ways to understand ourselves and the world around us. I'm so happy you're here with me today. Whether you're walking, cooking, or just chilling with your headphones, thank you for spending this time with me. Today, we're diving into something simple yet incredibly powerful: gratitude. Now, don't roll your eyes if that word feels a bit overused or cheesy at first. I promise we're going to unpack it in a way that's clear, practical, and maybe even life-changing. I'll share real examples, some personal stories, and I'll ask you a few reflective questions to help you connect these ideas to your own life. So, why does gratitude matter? Well, most of us think happiness comes from big achievements, more money, or a perfect life. But the truth is, the way we think and feel every day is shaped by something much smaller and more accessible: our ability to notice and appreciate what we already have. Gratitude isn't just saying thank you or being polite, it's a mindset, a habit, and a way of rewiring your brain to see the world differently. Think about it for a moment. Have you ever felt stuck in a loop of negativity where everything seems to go wrong? Or maybe you've noticed that some people seem to radiate joy, even when their life is imperfect. That's the power of gratitude at work. In this episode, we're going to explore what gratitude really is, how it changes your brain and your life, and how you can practice it in simple, intentional ways. You'll hear everyday examples, get practical techniques you can try, and learn some useful English phrases and expressions along the way. And as always on Code Your English, I want you to think deeply as you listen. This podcast isn't just about improving your English, it's about growing with English. So, as we dive into each idea, ask yourself, what am I grateful for in my life right now? Could focusing on gratitude change the way I feel or act? All right, are you ready to jump in? Take a deep breath, get comfortable, and let's explore the transformative power of gratitude. Let's begin. What is gratitude? Let's start by understanding the first part of our topic today. What exactly is gratitude? In simple terms, gratitude is the act of noticing and appreciating the good things in your life, no matter how big or small. It's about recognizing what you have, rather than focusing on what you lack. It's not just saying thank you. When someone holds the door for you, it's a way of seeing the world, a lens that helps you find meaning and joy in everyday moments. Imagine you're having a tough day. Maybe you missed a deadline, had an argument, or just feel tired. Your mind might naturally focus on what's going wrong. But then, you pause and notice something small, maybe the warmth of your coffee, the smile of a friend, or the fact that you have a roof over your head. That moment of noticing, that shift in perspective, is gratitude. It's not about ignoring problems, it's about choosing to see the good alongside them. Let's take a real-life example. Picture yourself sitting at home after a long day. You're scrolling through your phone, and you start comparing your life to others. Maybe you see someone on social media with a fancy car or a perfect vacation, and you feel a pang of envy. That's your mind focusing on what you don't have. But what if you stopped and thought, I'm grateful for my health, or I'm thankful for the people who care about me? That simple shift doesn't erase your challenges, but it changes how you feel about them. You start to feel lighter, more grounded. That's gratitude in action. Another example is when you're learning something new, like English. Maybe you're struggling with pronunciation or grammar, and it feels frustrating. Your mind might say, I'm not good enough. But gratitude flips that script. You might think, I'm thankful I have the chance to learn, or I'm grateful for every mistake, because it helps me grow. That mindset doesn't just make you feel better, it actually helps you learn faster, because you're not stuck in negativity. One important thing to know is that gratitude isn't just a feeling, it's a skill. Scientists have studied it, and they've found that practicing gratitude can actually change your brain. It strengthens neural pathways that make you feel happier and more resilient. But it's not automatic. Like any skill, it takes practice. You have to train your mind to notice the good, especially when life feels heavy. For now, just remember this: gratitude is about choosing to see the good in your life, even when it's not obvious. It's about appreciating what's here, right now, in this moment. Let's take a simple example. Imagine you're learning to cook a new recipe. At first, you're focused on every step, measuring ingredients, checking the recipe, worrying about messing up. That's you consciously trying to get it right. But after some practice, cooking becomes easier. You start to enjoy it, maybe even feel proud of your progress. That's when gratitude kicks in. You start to appreciate the process, not just the result. Right now, I want you to pause and ask yourself this simple question: what's one thing I'm grateful for today? Maybe it's the fact that you're listening to this episode. Or maybe it's something as small as a warm meal or a kind word from someone. Whatever it is, the fact that you can notice it, that's your gratitude muscle starting to work. This awareness is what helps you shift your perspective, and it's the first step to living a more joyful, intentional life. As we move forward, try to stay present. Notice when your mind drifts to complaints or worries. Gently bring it back to this moment, to what you're hearing. Practicing gratitude isn't just good for your English, it's a powerful life skill. The more you notice the good, the more control you'll have over your emotions and your actions. Now, let's dive deeper into the science behind gratitude and how it actually changes your brain. What's happening inside you when you practice gratitude? And can it really make a difference? That's what we'll explore next. The science of gratitude. And now that we understand what gratitude is, let's go a little deeper and explore how it works in your brain. This part might sound a bit technical, but don't worry, I'll keep it simple and clear. Your brain is like a supercomputer, constantly processing information, emotions, and experiences. When you practice gratitude, you're not just thinking happy thoughts. You're actually rewiring your brain to focus on the positive. And science backs this up. Researchers have found that gratitude activates specific parts of your brain, like the prefrontal cortex, which is linked to decision-making and emotional regulation. When you focus on what you're thankful for, your brain releases chemicals like dopamine and serotonin, which make you feel good. It's like giving your brain a natural happiness boost. Over time, if you keep practicing gratitude, these positive pathways in your brain get stronger, making it easier to feel hopeful and calm, even in tough moments. Let's use an analogy. Think of your brain like a garden. Negative thoughts like worry, stress, or envy are like weeds that can grow quickly if you don't pull them out. Gratitude is like planting flowers. Every time you focus on something you're thankful for, you're planting a seed. With regular care, repeating the practice daily, those flowers grow stronger, and the weeds have less space to take over. Here's a real-world example. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to stay calm even when things go wrong? Maybe they lose their job or face a setback, but they still find something to smile about. That's not because they're ignoring reality, it's because they've trained their brain to look for the good. Their gratitude habit has built stronger neural pathways. So their default response is optimism, not despair. Gratitude also affects your body. Studies show it can lower stress, improve sleep, and even boost your immune system. Why? Because when you focus on the good, your body produces less cortisol, the stress hormone. Imagine you're lying in bed, worrying about tomorrow's to-do list. Your heart races, and you can't sleep. Now, imagine you shift your thoughts to something you're grateful for, like a kind moment from your day. Your body starts to relax, your breathing slows, and you feel calmer. That's gratitude working on both your mind and body. But here's the catch: your brain doesn't automatically focus on the positive. It's wired to notice threats and problems first. It's a survival instinct from long ago. Back when humans lived in caves, noticing danger was more important than appreciating a sunset. Today, that means your brain might naturally focus on what's wrong unless you consciously train it to notice what's right. That's where gratitude comes in. It's like teaching your brain a new habit, one that makes you feel lighter and more connected to life. Let me ask you something. Have you ever had a moment when you felt truly thankful and it changed how you saw everything? Maybe it was a kind gesture from a stranger or a quiet moment with family. How did that moment feel? Did it shift your perspective? Even just a little? Those moments are clues to the power of gratitude. They show you what's possible when you make it a habit. In the next section, we'll look at how gratitude shapes your daily life, even in ways you might not notice. We'll explore how it affects your relationships, your confidence, and even your goals. But for now, reflect on this. What's one thing in your life that you could start appreciating more? That question can open the door to a whole new way of thinking. How gratitude shapes your life. Now that we've explored the science behind gratitude, let's talk about how it actually shapes your life in practical, everyday ways. Gratitude isn't just a warm, fuzzy feeling. It's a tool that can change how you interact with the world. From your relationships to your self-esteem to your ability to achieve your goals. First, let's talk about relationships. When you practice gratitude, you start noticing the good in the people around you. Maybe you appreciate a friend who always listens or a coworker who helped you out. When you express that gratitude by saying thank you or writing a quick note, it strengthens your connection. People feel seen and valued, and that builds trust and kindness. Think about it. When someone thanks you sincerely, doesn't it make you feel closer to them? Gratitude is like glue for relationships. It holds people together. Here's an example. Imagine you're having dinner with your family and things feel tense. Maybe someone's stressed or there's an old argument hanging in the air. Instead of focusing on the tension, you say, "I'm really grateful we're all here together tonight." That small act can shift the mood. It doesn't fix everything, but it reminds everyone of what matters. Over time, those moments of gratitude build stronger, more loving relationships. Gratitude also boosts your confidence. When you focus on what you're thankful for, you start to see your own strengths more clearly. Maybe you're grateful for your ability to keep trying even when things are hard. Or maybe you're thankful for a skill you've worked hard to develop, like speaking English. That focus on the positive helps you believe in yourself more. It's like shining a light on what you're capable of, instead of dwelling on your mistakes. Let's use a personal story. A few years ago, I was struggling with self-doubt while preparing for a big presentation. I kept thinking, what if I mess up? But then I started a small gratitude practice. Every morning, I wrote down 3 things I was thankful for about myself, like my effort, my creativity, or my ability to connect with people. At first, it felt awkward, but over time, I started to feel more confident. I wasn't perfect, but I was focusing on what I brought to the table, not what I lacked. That shift made all the difference. Gratitude also helps you achieve your goals. When you're grateful for the progress you've made, even if it's small, you stay motivated. Think about learning English. If you focus only on what you don't know, you might feel discouraged. But if you're grateful for every new word you learn or every conversation you have, you'll feel excited to keep going. Gratitude keeps you moving forward because it reminds you that you're already growing. Now, let's pause for a reflective question. What's one area of your life, relationships, confidence, or goals where gratitude can make a difference? Maybe it's appreciating a friend more, or noticing your own progress, or being thankful for the chance to chase your dreams. Where could you shine that gratitude spotlight? That question is a starting point for real change. In the next section, we'll dive into how to actually practice gratitude in your daily life. I'll share simple techniques you can start using today, and we'll talk about how small steps can lead to big transformations. How to practice gratitude and know that we know how gratitude shapes your life. Let's get practical. How do you actually make gratitude a part of your day? The good news is, it doesn't require hours of effort or big changes. Gratitude is about small, consistent habits that add up over time. Let's explore some techniques anyone can use to build a gratitude practice. One of the simplest methods is keeping a gratitude journal. Every day, write down 3 things you're thankful for. They don't have to be big. Maybe it's a good cup of tea, a kind word from a colleague, or the fact that you got through a tough day. The key is to be specific. Instead of writing, "I'm grateful for my friends," try, "I'm grateful for how Sarah listened to me when I was upset." Specificity makes the practice more meaningful, and it helps your brain notice the little moments that matter. Another powerful tool is gratitude affirmations. These are short, positive statements you repeat to yourself, like, "I am thankful for the opportunities in my life," or "I appreciate my ability to keep learning." At first, it might feel strange, especially if you're not used to praising yourself, but repetition is key. Say it in the morning or before bed, and say it with feeling. Over time, your brain starts to believe it, and you'll notice a shift in how you see yourself and your life. Visualization is another great technique. Take a moment to close your eyes and picture something you're grateful for. Maybe it's a memory of a happy day, or a person you love, or even a future goal you're excited about. Feel the emotions as you imagine it. Let yourself smile, feel warm, or feel proud. Visualization works because it connects your emotions to your gratitude, making the practice deeper and more impactful. You can also practice gratitude through action. Write a thank you note to someone who's helped you, even if it's just a text, or do something kind for someone else, like helping a neighbor or complimenting a coworker. These actions don't just make others feel good, they reinforce your own gratitude by showing you how much you have to give. Let me share a story. One of my students, Alex, was struggling with stress. He felt like his life was a constant race, and he never had time to breathe. I suggested he try a gratitude journal. At first, he was skeptical. He thought it wouldn't change anything, but he committed to writing 3 things every night for a month. After a few weeks, he noticed something. He was sleeping better, and he wasn't as overwhelmed. He said, "I realized I have so much to be thankful for, even on bad days." That small habit didn't solve all his problems, but it gave him a new perspective. So, here's my challenge to you. Try one gratitude practice today. Maybe write down 3 things you're thankful for, or say one gratitude affirmation, or take a moment to visualize something you appreciate. You don't need to do it all, just pick one small step. That step is like planting a seed in your mind, and with time, it will grow. In the next part, we'll talk about the importance of consistency and patience in building a gratitude habit, because, just like any skill, gratitude takes practice to become second nature. The rule of consistency and patience. We've learned a lot about gratitude so far, how it works, why it matters, and how to practice it. But here's a truth that's easy to forget. Real change doesn't happen overnight. Building a gratitude habit takes consistency and patience. And those 2 things are the secret sauce to making it stick. Let's start with consistency. This means showing up for your gratitude practice every day, even if it's just for a minute. Maybe you write in your gratitude journal each night, or you say an affirmation every morning, or you take a moment to reflect on what went well in your day. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to be regular. Why? Because your brain learns through repetition. Every time you practice gratitude, you're strengthening those positive neural pathways we talked about earlier. It's like building a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. But consistency ain't always easy. Life gets busy, and it's tempting to skip a day or 2. Maybe you feel tired or think, "I'll do it tomorrow." That's where patience comes in. Change takes time, and it's normal to feel like nothing's happening at first. You might write in your gratitude journal for a week and still feel stressed or negative. That's okay. It doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It just means your brain is still learning. Think of it like planting a garden. You don't see flowers the day after you plant the seeds. You water them, give them sunlight, and wait. Some days, it feels like nothing's happening, but beneath the surface, roots are growing. Gratitude is the same. You might not feel happier right away, but every small practice is building something deeper. Here's a personal example. A while back, I went through a tough period where everything felt overwhelming. I started a gratitude practice. But after a few days, I thought, this isn't working. I was ready to give up, but I kept going, just writing down one thing I was thankful for each day. After a few weeks, I noticed I was smiling more, worrying less. It wasn't dramatic, but it was real. That's the power of sticking with it. Science supports this too. Studies on neuroplasticity show that your brain can form new habits at any age, but it takes weeks or even months of repetition to make them stick. So, if you're feeling impatient, remind yourself, Rome wasn't built in a day. Your gratitude habit is a journey, not a race. Let me ask you a question. Are you willing to be patient with yourself? Can you commit to one small gratitude practice, even when it feels slow? If you can say yes, you're already on the path to change. Growth doesn't belong to the fastest, it belongs to the ones who keep showing up. In the next section, we'll look at practical ways to make gratitude a natural part of your life, so it feels less like a task and more like a habit. Practical tips to make gratitude a habit. Know that we've talked about consistency and patience. Let's get even more practical. How do you make gratitude a natural part of your life so it feels effortless? The goal is to align your conscious efforts with your subconscious habits, so gratitude becomes something you do without thinking. Here are some tips to get you started. First, tie your gratitude practice to an existing habit. This is called habit stacking. For example, if you brush your teeth every morning, use that moment to think of one thing you're grateful for. Or if you drink coffee every day, take a sip and say, I'm thankful for this moment. By linking gratitude to something you already do, it becomes easier to remember. Next, pay attention to your self-talk. The way you speak to yourself shapes your mindset. If you catch yourself thinking, I'm so unlucky, pause and reframe it. Try, I'm grateful for the lessons this challenge is teaching me. It's not about denying reality, it's about finding a new angle over time. This kind of self-talk rewires your subconscious to focus on the positive. Another tip is to create gratitude cues in your environment. Put a sticky note on your mirror that says, what are you thankful for today? Or set a phone reminder to pause and reflect. These little prompts help you stay mindful and keep gratitude front and center. You can also involve others. Share your gratitude with friends or family, maybe at dinner. Go around the table and each say one thing you're thankful for, or text a friend to say, I'm grateful for you. Not only does this deepen your own gratitude, but it also spreads positivity to others. Finally, be kind to yourself when you slip up. Some days, you might forget to practice gratitude, or you might feel too stressed to care. That's okay. Growth isn't about perfection, it's about progress. If you miss a day, just start again tomorrow. The key is to keep showing up, even in small ways. Here's a story to inspire you. One of my listeners, Emma, started a gratitude practice after a tough breakup. She felt lost and negative, but she decided to try writing one thing she was thankful for every night. Some days, it was as simple as, I'm grateful for my cozy blanket. Over time, she noticed she was focusing less on her pain and more on the little joys in her life. It didn't erase her challenges, but it gave her hope and strength to keep going. So, try one of these tips today. Pick something simple like a gratitude journal, a sticky note, or a moment of reflection. Keep it small, but keep it consistent. Over time, gratitude will become a natural part of how you see the world. Final thoughts and encouragement. We have reached the final part of today's episode. And before we wrap up, let's take a moment to reflect. We've covered a lot, but the goal wasn't to overwhelm you with information. It was to inspire you to look at your life through a new lens, one of gratitude. We started by exploring what gratitude is, a way of noticing and appreciating the good in your life. We learn how it rewires your brain, strengthens your relationships, boosts your confidence, and helps you achieve your goals. We talked about practical ways to practice gratitude, like journaling, affirmations, and visualization, and we emphasized the importance of consistency and patience. Most importantly, we learned that gratitude is a choice. You have the power to shift your perspective, no matter what's happening in your life. You don't need a perfect life to be grateful. You just need to start noticing the good that's already there. So, here's my final encouragement. Try one small gratitude practice today. Maybe write down 3 things you're thankful for, or say a kind word to yourself, or pause to appreciate a moment. That one step is the beginning of something powerful. And as you do this, be patient. Growth takes time. But every moment of gratitude is a seed that will grow into a happier, more fulfilling life. Before I go, I want to thank you for spending this time with me. I hope this episode sparked something in you, maybe a new idea, a new habit, or just a moment of hope. If it did, I invite you to do 2 things. First, share this episode with someone who might need a little gratitude in their life. Second, take a moment to journal about one thing you're thankful for today. Writing it down makes it real. This channel, Decode Your English, is about more than just learning a language. It's about growing as a person. You're not just improving your English, you're improving your mindset and your life. I'm honored to be on this journey with you. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep choosing gratitude. I'll talk to you soon.